I've loved film for really as long as I can remember. To me, sitting down and watching good or even bad movies like my favorite pastime. I've got a growing collection of DVDs and almost every streaming service that you can think of. Yet there seems to be a form of media that I always overlook. Movie theaters. Theaters are becoming to seem like a forgotten form of media, and not just by myself. With practically all of my media and a majority of the world's media being consumed in the comfort of our homes now, I wanted to know how this transition in media has affected the movie business and people themselves. In order to learn more about this issue, I decided to go to KSU to talk to a film professor.
I have loved movies from the very beginning. My dad was a giant film fan, and he took me to an array of movies that I shouldn't have been watching at the ages when I was watching them. I love going to the movie theater. I love getting a soda at the concession stand. I love being in a movie theater with other people and having reactions with them. I love just the sort of the ritual, the experience of going to the movies. But I also love watching things at home. You know, like I'm definitely an avid streamer. I love streaming TV shows. I love streaming movies. And obviously that's very convenient. But the thing about watching movies at home is you can stop them and you can walk away and make dinner and spend an hour away from the movie and then go back to the movie. And that's not actually how movies are supposed to be watched. You're just supposed to watch them from the beginning to the end.
Knowing Dr. Sheldon's relationship with film, I wanted to know her thoughts on the issues that movies could be having with the transition in media.
I think we have to rethink what we think about the movies. An article by A.O. Scott, who's the New York Times film critic, and it was a piece about precisely this issue, the relationship between sort of streaming and traditional cinema, and you know, television, the relationship between television and the movies. It's obviously really the division between them has broken down. And what A.O. Scott suggests in that article, and I entirely agree with him, is that, you know, like, it's not like television or streaming is going to overtake cinema. It's actually part of cinema now, and I think that's I don't think it's dead. I think it's the way we think about it has to change. You know, at the Oscars, many of the films that are being nominated for Best Picture these days are from Netflix and Amazon Prime, and these are streaming companies. So I think that has been a gigantic change, and I think it can't be underestimated, the consequences that change has for the industry. It also seems like, you know, the movie theaters, you know, their movie theaters are closing and places are becoming bankrupt and things like this. So obviously there's a sort of existential threat to the sort of traditional institution of movie going. But that threat has been part of the movies for a very long time. I mean, television, they were afraid, the movie industry was afraid of television because television threatened cinema. I mean, the Sopranos 20 years ago changed TV forever, and it made TV something that was, like The Godfather, epic and compelling and not just sort of fluff. And I think we're seeing the ramifications of that now 20 years on, over 20 years later actually at this point, where, you know, like, TV it's really good. Like, and you know, you used to go to the movies for really good art. Now TV can be really good art. So the production values have increased, the money people are putting into TV has changed, and so I think all of that has inspired the reconsideration that A.O. Scott was talking about, that I just referenced, in the New York Times. Like, we can't just say that, like, TV is like Friends and Seinfeld, though I love Seinfeld, got nothing against, not that there's anything wrong with that. But it's not just fluffy anymore, right? It's serious, and serious in the best, most entertaining, most engaging way. The movies aren't dead. #movies forever.
Taking away from what Dr. Sheldon says, it seems as though the transition in media hasn't exactly hurt the movie industry, it's just changing it. Being able to watch really anything at home has never been around before, but now it's just become the new normality. People will still go out to movies for the experience, but having this convenience at home is just so much easier for people now. It's cheaper, you're at home, but that's not exactly how the movies were ever intended to be watched. Yet, what this change has really brought about is the rise in television. There's so many amazing new TV series coming out, just waiting to be binge watched by people. And that's kind of pushing movies a little bit to the side where they're just not as popular anymore. However, there is still an amazing selection of movies out there. It's just going to take a little bit more digging now. Whether it be a Netflix exclusive or a straight to streaming selection, they're going to be out there and they're just waiting for people to watch them and love them. You just have to actually find them more now. The movies might be off the big screen, but they are not dead.